We are so happy to have you here today. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for getting in your seats, for coming with a great sense of expectation of what's going to happen today. We never know what's going to happen around here, right? Because we're so flexible and we just try to stay open, to allow Spirit to move in whatever way. But one thing is for sure, if you're here today, there's a reason. And this is an appointment. So get ready, because who knows what you're going to be receiving from the universe today. And I'm Midge Megstad, and it's my privilege to be your facilitator today, to get the chance to see all your beautiful faces, to welcome our Zoomers, who were always so happy. All those faces up in the Zoom boxes. Thank you so much for being with us today. Well, you know, this time of year, when I heard that our speaker was going to be talking about planting and grasses and who knows what all you're going to be bringing us, but it immediately took me back to my dad, because before my dad was a preacher, he was a farmer. And once you're ever a farmer, you never lose that. So no matter where we lived, with the exception of when he was in seminary in a brick apartment in Kansas City, Kansas, he had a garden. He had a huge garden. And he never said this, but I believe his time of meditation and spiritual connection was often when he was out working in his garden. And I think probably a lot of you have that feeling too, if you love to work and plant and grow and all of that. My sister used to claim that I was adopted because for some reason I did not seem to get that gene that made me want to go out and dig in the dirt. But everybody else in the family seemed to have it. So for whatever reason, it made me think of my dad. And then also it triggered something that I learned at my meditation class this week, which was about a special festival that's called Imbolc. I hope I'm saying that correct. It's Irish. But does anybody have a correct way of saying it? Did I say?
Do you have a spelling?
Imbolc. I-M, and then it's just B-O-L-C. That's what I think it is. But anyway, this is a festival that started in long ago, beginning of February, and it was a time to mark the halfway point between the winter and the spring equinox. It honors the goddess Bridget and signifies the return of light. The first signs of spring, new beginnings. It's a time of purification, preparing for the new planting season. Imbolc literally means in the belly. It was also lambing time, and the pregnant mothers were drawing close to their time of giving birth. And after winter hibernation, whether for a long period or for like us, we had a week and a half of our hibernation that we were all done with it. Well, whatever length of time. After hibernation, there's this feeling of anticipation for the new, for new life. I think probably already some of you are starting to see crocuses or daffodils or little buds on the trees. It's this time of year when there's so much going on under the surface that we still can't see, but we feel the stirrings. We feel this sense of anticipation. And we also feel a need to prepare, whether that's clearing the ground, raking out the dead stuff, getting ready for this new growth that's happening. It's a time of letting go of the old, which can feel scary sometimes. Stepping into something new, it's out of our comfort zone. But at the same time, whether literal preparation for planting or spiritual preparation for what's stirring inside of you, even if we can't see it, it's happening. So be ready. Growing time has come. And with those, we're going to all join together and say our vision statement. And after our vision statement this morning, our wonderful trio of our band members are going to be playing This Land Is Your Land, which is number 47. We'll stand and sing that, and you can then, once again, have a chance to talk to each other. Yay! And then I'll call you back together. So, first of all, together, our vision statement. Our Sunday gathering is designed to provide a weekly encouragement to individually manifest our highest good and purpose in our lives. Inner direction is the key. We reinforce positive directions for our lives and the infinite potential within us. We seek connections to create an open atmosphere of acceptance of all backgrounds, races, and lifestyles. We come together in a spirit of inclusiveness, embracing all spiritual paths, honoring God in an atmosphere of unconditional love. If you'd like to stand for the song, you're welcome to. 47.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me.
All right, everybody. Take a big breath. Find your seat. On the count of 3. All right. It is that time again to find your chair, please. Settle back in. Say that last hug. Okay, thank you, everybody. Calming, settling. Okay, Janice, sit down. Sit down.
Quiet, please.
I don't want to start naming names. Come on, y'all. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that is such a fun part of our service, and I do hate to cut you off, but also we want to be respectful of time and to keep the flow going. So our flow has now brought us to that point where we want to calm down. We want to center ourselves, take a breath, relax, focus, be in this moment as much as you possibly can. Just be in this moment. Nothing else matters. Let it all go and just be in this moment, which is appropriate for our chant, which is surrender, number 62. And then our very own Mona Nelson is going to come forward and lead us in the meditation that follows. So we will just go with that flow from surrender to Mona coming up, and then I'll come back and introduce our speaker. But first, we have an amazing song, and truly amazing song, because this is one that you're not going to believe that these amazing musicians found for us, but it's called Short Native Grasses. A song called Short Native. Had you ever heard of this? Well, get ready.
You can fail to achieve what you've always believed you are capable of from the start. You can lose all you have to the gambling air if you know nothing true of your heart. You can see and be seen with the holes in your jeans. The prairies won't know what it means. The prairies of Alberta, they ain't never heard of the things that are keeping you down. And the short native grasses don't care that the ashes of your dreams must a dry shade of brown. Follow the call of old Montreal. It may feel like you never get back. You can do what you want on the Boulevard St. Laurent. It may feel like you've slipped through the cracks. You can see and be seen with those holes in your jeans, but the prairies won't know what it means. Prairies of Alberta, they ain't never heard of the things that are keeping you down. The short native grasses don't care that the ashes of your dreams match their dry shade of brown. fail to remember the gift of September, and all that's left a manila grass rope, and a clean country wedding that you thought you'd be getting seems too late beyond reasonable hope. You can see and be seen with those holes in your jeans. The prairies won't know what it means. You can see and be seen with those holes in your jeans. The prairies won't know what it means.
Oh, how cool was that? I love it. Thank you, guys. And Daryl, it was really fun to hear your talented instrumental part in there, too. What a guitar player. Thank you. Now we are going to turn to our chant, which is number 62. And if we could have someone dim the lights a little bit, and we will all surrender.
Surrender to the love I hold inside. Surrender, let my love flow free. Surrender, just let go and step inside and know the love that I have come to serve. Surrender to the love I hold inside. Surrender, let my love flow free. Surrender, just let go and step inside and know the love that I have come to serve. Surrender to the love I hold inside. Surrender, let my love flow free. Surrender, just let go and step inside and know the love that I have come to serve. Surrender to the love I hold inside. Surrender, let my love flow free. Surrender,
Find a comfortable position in your chair. And gently close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. And begin a deep breathing pattern. Use your own timing. Just be sure that you lengthen your out breath longer than you normally would. Now, I invite you to take a walk with me on a familiar twilight path. The stars are bright and the sky is full tonight. You have a special place in this forest that you have made for yourself. It includes a hammock safely off the ground. And as always, it's a perfect fit. And so you snuggle in. Looking up at the night sky, recognizing the complete lack of light pollution, you instantly feel in awe of the vastness of that space and of time. Countless stars, worlds, and galaxies. Then the thought comes to you that what if another being is on one of those stars, lying down, looking back at you? Maybe that being is wishing on the star that you reside at the same moment you are wishing upon theirs. Are we not a reflection of one another? And so, as you are wishing upon that star, you begin to reflect on your wish. Our wishes and dreams can very well be our future. So let us imagine a future that we would all love to see. Picture all the good that you can possibly imagine. Let us take this time to start creating this beautiful new world. Know that it can all become true. Take one more healing breath. Deep, long breath. and then come back to this sacred space. And so it is.
Thank you, Mona. Now, I am going to introduce to you our speaker for this morning. Bill Farris is going to speak about why native. Prairie Wind Nursery in Noble, Oklahoma came into being in the spring of 1990 thanks to Bill and Sally Farris. Bill, from his early days on a small ranch in southern Oklahoma, was interested in plants, especially native forage grasses. From high school Future Farmers of America competitions to studying plant science at Murray State College, Bill has had a strong connection to plants and soil. Bill and Sally were voted Growers of the Year in 1992 by the Oklahoma Growers Association. Bill is a leader in his field and served on the board and is president of the Oklahoma Greenhouse Growers Association. He is currently vice president of the Oklahoma Native Plant Network. Prairie Wind Nursery is dedicated to educating the public on the many benefits of native plants in the landscape. Bill will bring that teaching expertise to Morningstar to enlighten us on the many environmental, economical, and ecological benefits of incorporating native plants back into the world whenever and wherever possible. Please join me in welcoming Bill Farris.
I'm going to apologize straight up here for my scratchy voice this morning. It's been one of those months. Thanks for asking me out. Appreciate it. Enjoy visiting with folks about native plants and all the advantages here. Sacra and I have kind of a tie to a little small town where I grew up called Addington, whose population now is down to about 77, and there's no businesses left there. But since Sacra asked me to speak to you guys, it occurred to me this morning that maybe that universe is trying to talk to me. I've had 2 other church groups ask me to come and speak to them here within the last few weeks. But it made me think of a little story. There was an older couple of farmers down there near this small town. And they had got to coming up on their 60th wedding anniversary. And the family was planning a big do, and the local reporter heard about it, and so he made his way out there, and he got the old man off to the side, and he said, sir, he said, would you tell me the secret to 60 years of marital bliss? And he said, well, sure, son, that's easy. He said, we got a 50-50 marriage. He said, well, that sounds real good, but just exactly what is a 50-50 marriage? Well, it works like this, he said. I tell her what to do, and she tells me where to go. So, just a little bit about me. I grew up in a quite a time. My mother and dad made her living rodeoing as contestants in the early years, and then later on working for rodeo producers. And my grandparents had bought this farm back in the early 50s. And if y'all know what a box and strip cabin is, it's the next generation of housing after the sod hut. This is 3 rooms, no insulation, a wood stove for heat, a path, and we drew water to drink by hand and bathe. So when my mother and dad were on the road, my brother and I lived with my grandparents in this technology area. We weren't off the grid. We did have electric lights, but that was the only grid we had. So we would go from that to the summertime, and then on the weekends when they were close enough, My brother and I would travel with my mom and dad, and we'd go to 5 or 6 state fairs a year, live in 4-star hotels with room service and swimming pools, and rubbing elbows with celebrities of the day at those times, the singers and stars that they would bring in. So we lived kind of a weird set of circumstances growing up. But anyway, I loved being on the farm and cattle and ranching, and as the intro said, I got interested in the grasses at a very early age, just kind of through osmosis from being around my dad and my granddad. I picked up a lot of stuff. So when I got into school, I realized that I knew a little bit that others in the class didn't know about grass ID and stuff. So I went on with that, not thinking that how do you get from being a rodeo family, ranching family, to a greenhouse grower is quite a long odyssey. But anyway, over the years, we have focused more and more and more on the native plants. One is water conservation. Down where I grew up at until they built Waurika Lake and they did the rural water district, there's very, very little water down there. A lot of the farmers had to haul water from town for their household uses and that sort of thing. So I became concerned about water consumption. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But as it evolved, it just became, because I call Oklahoma as what I call a two-state. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too wet, it's too dry, it's too dusty, and it's too windy. All in the same week. And so it only makes sense to grow plants and use plants that are adapted to live here, that have been living here for eons, and we keep bringing in plants from other continents, other parts of the world that are not used to this yo-yo weather that we have, and that's why you lose a lot of plants in the wintertime. Those of you that grow culinary herbs and you struggle to grow rosemary, you struggle to grow lavender, it's because they come from the Middle East where the temperature is very even, it's very dry, very arid, New Mexico type of circumstances out there. But anyway, about 3 years ago, a friend of mine got concerned because she and I were the kind of the leading producers of native plants in the area, and she's wanting to retire and has retired now, and I'm still standing, but she was concerned the demand for native plants has been going up phenomenally the last 2 or 3 years. That awareness is now out there. People are waking up to the benefits of our native plants. So Maryland got us together a little panel discussion at our Oklahoma Oklahoma Nursery and Landscape Association annual meeting, and there was about 8 or 9 of us professionals in there, and from that, we decided to carry on with what is called the Native Plant Network. Okay, Michelle? Yeah. Why native? The mission of the Oklahoma Native Plant Network. We want to educate. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like I said, I can't talk if I can't move my hands. But our mission is to promote younger growers to getting into this and to educate the public, and also to educate landscapers, landscape architects in the benefits of the native plants. Okay. So 22, what I just said, we just started this organization. We went in because we were hurrying. We partnered with Oklahoma Native Plant Society, and at the end of this, we'll have information on there where you can look at, see how to join these organizations and participate if you'd like to. But we are now our own 501(c) organization, okay? All of the reasons why we exist. We select a certain amount of native plants each year to feature, and we are a volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid. But one of the things that we wanted to do, and there's a lot of education in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, but there wasn't any outreach into the far west. And so this year we're going to Elk City, and what we do is our growers go up and we set up like a farmer's market. We have plants available, we have speakers to educate. We went to Woodward this last year, was amazed at the turnout. We had people come driving a couple hundred miles to come see our programs and buy plants up there, okay? We meet monthly. We try to learn something or teach something or learn something from one another each week when we do. And we have a business directory on the website, so if you need a landscape contractor or landscape architect, or source for plants, you can go to their website and find that. Okay. Choosing plants that already grow here. Oklahoma has one of the most diverse ecological regions. You go from the Panhandle to the southeast, where we've got sable palms and alligators, to the mountains, Black Mesa, and everything in between there. So you can find something. Some of these, there are beautiful native plants. They just have to be, help put in the right place into your landscape. We're trying to get away from so much fertilizer, fungicide, pesticide use. This is going to get into the pollinators. The reason why this is critical is, as most of you know, there's been a decline in the pollinators and songbirds, bees, flying insects of all types because of the use of pesticides. And one of the big problems that we're having is with the monarch butterfly. Well, here in Oklahoma, in the cross timbers, we've got enough wild lands that we're not hurting like it is. Where we have a real problem is you get up north in Nebraska and Iowa and Illinois, where it's corn and soybeans, corn and soybeans, corn and soybeans, and they're all Roundup ready. Well, they kill everything. There's nothing there for the pollinators to eat or lay their eggs on. Managing stormwater is another one. If you use the right plants, and that's a big problem. I know it's a big problem here in Norman because of some of the issues that they've had on Bishop Creek. Once you get south of town, they funnel all this water into the curb and the street, and then the storm drain, and then down the creek, and it becomes an erosion issue downstream. Okay. 80% of food plants cannot reproduce without a pollinator. Now, when I was involved with the Oklahoma Ag Leadership Program back in 2007 and 8, and it's a 2-year-long program. You visit all over the state. You visit state capitol, politicians. We go to Washington, D.C., and at the end of it, you get an international tour. And when you sign up, they don't tell you where you're going to go. And my group went to China right before the 2008 Olympics, and they told us they had places over there in China, the orchard areas, where they had to hire peasants to go out and pollinate the fruit and nut trees with paintbrushes because they'd used so much DDT there were no insects left there to pollinate these trees. Now that's getting pretty extreme. All right. Going back to the pollinators, we've got to have the pollinators for our food crops, and that's just all there is to it. Now then, this is a conventional builder landscape. This is a new house probably 10 or 12 years ago. This is down here south of Highway 9. But you can see there. Okay, I got it. There's probably not a beneficial insect in that lawn anywhere. And as you might see right here, this Nandina, those things are actually harmful. Now, I know people like them because they're virtually indestructible, and they are kind of pretty when they're colored up like that. But they produce berries. Now, the birds are not stupid. They won't eat them unless we have a storm like we just experienced, and they can't find anything else to eat. They will eat the berries off of that Nandina, in about 30 minutes they're dead. Because, and you know how many Nandinas there are planted in Oklahoma. Okay. Now, here's what a native landscape can look like. And I'm going to get back over here where I can see it a little better myself. But you see how dynamic that is there. It's just not this. I got a funny story. A lady came to me at the market one time, and I was selling plants. She looked at me kind of wild-eyed, and she says, "You're that guy that does the wild stuff, aren't you?" I said, "Well, yeah, I guess so." And then what was even worse is she says, "I don't do wild." But go ahead. Like I said, the plants have evolved and adapted to the weather conditions, the soil conditions that we have here, all of those extremes. The native landscape changes with the season, so it's not like going out and planting petunias or impatiens where it's going to look the same all season. You've got to put a little thought into it, so you've got early, mid, late, fall bloomers, so that you've got something coming all the time. The native plants are a lot lower in maintenance than your conventional nursery crops. They don't require nearly as much water. Now, they do require some during establishment early on, and if we have an extreme drought. And just throw out a little statistic. This has been 7 or 8 years ago. I was talking to one of the folks with Edmond Waterworks, and he told me that in the wintertime, they use about 8 million gallons of water a day for household use in Edmond. In the summertime, they use 20 million. So you got 12 million gallons a day going on Bermuda grass lawns. Now, I'm going to go back to my hometown story. They built Waurika Lake, which is a 10,000-acre lake, a couple of miles from where I grew up at, when I was during high school, the 70s. Well, then the Corps engineer said it would take 6 to 8 years of normal rainfall to fill it up to the conservation level. 8 months later, it was almost over the spillway. And never had any problems, but then we had that drought that was in the early teens. It ended in the spring of 2015. That lake was at 17% of its capacity. That lake supplies Lawton and Duncan and Walters and Comanche and Waurika and every other little town down there, plus all of the farms. There's a water line running down every county road, and they were at 17% of their capacity, and the powers that be got together and said, "You reckon we ought to ration this water?" And so, but they got lucky, and it started raining that spring. 6 months later, it was back full. So they got away with it that time. Most of your native plants don't require any extra chemicals or spraying for the bugs. Now, sometimes you'll have a little bit of infestation, but if you just leave it alone, nature will take care of it. The parasites will come in and take care of the aphids or whatever problems you may be having. Okay. Different pollinators have different needs, and I'm going to talk about the monarch butterfly in particular. Now, the monarch adult feeds and gets nectar from a variety of native plants, but they only lay their egg on what we call the milkweed plant, the Asclepias family of plants. And so if you do not have milkweeds, you're not going to have monarch butterflies. That's all there is to it. And they haven't adapted. It takes eons and eons and eons for them to adapt to any other plant. So native plants also provide what I call cover, places for them to get out of the weather, places to hide at night, that sort of thing when they're resting. Those that are willing to make changes will see changes almost immediately. Once you start to plant native plants into your garden, you'll see a different bunch of insects in your, it won't be just flies and mosquitoes. You'll have butterflies, you'll have moths, you'll have dragonflies, and have all these other plants in your landscape that feed the birds, okay? Also, changing practices. It's always, of course, the landscaper has to justify their existence, the lawn maintenance people. So as soon as you get a frost, they want to come in and blow all the leaves and bag them up and haul them to the dump, fill up the landfill, and then they want to cut back all of your stemmy plants. Well, your insects need that mulch, that leaf mulch in there to overwinter. And also a lot of your bees they bore into the stems of those plants that are sticking up there. And you can cut the heads off, the dead head off, but leave some of the stems sticking up there so there's a place for these bees to lay their eggs. And, going back, I don't think we have the statistic on this program here, but it takes, Doug Tallamy, who we'll see his book at the end of this, did some research, and it takes something like 5,000 to 6,000 caterpillars to raise a clutch of chickadees to adulthood. That's one nest. Okay. there you go. It's kind of the rundown of what I was talking about there. You can leave those stems. You can clean it up, leave the deadhead in there a little bit, but you can see where the eggs on the diagram there, and then in the springtime, obviously, they hatch out. But a lot of these plants, too, even they have winter, they're still attractive in the winter. You don't have to cut them back to the ground every time. Leave those deadheads on there and let them go to seed on their own, okay? More reasons. You can see that. What is it? The blower for a half an hour will put out the same amount of fumes as a pickup going from Texas to Alaska. Yeah, and this is the part that bothers me is the noise thing. Because I'm old enough and running enough equipment when I was young without hearing, that I've got the high frequency hearing loss, and it's all the time. You can't understand anything. And there's other issues, health concerns, with two-cycle motors, lawn mowers that put out so much fumes all the time. Okay. In 2005, there was 63,000 square miles of turf grass in the United States. That's a area bigger than Georgia. All of that's being mowed and trimmed and fertilized and probably sprayed with chemicals and irrigated. 2015, U.S. spent $76 billion on turf grass. And up until we got marijuana, it was the most expensive crop to produce. It was the most expensive legal crop to produce. We use 7 billion gallons of water a day for irrigation. 3 million tons of fertilizer, 2.2 billion on pesticides, and we burn 800 million gallons of gas mowing lawn. Now, I'm kind of a naturally, I guess, a contrarian, because when we would be off on rodeos in the summertime, we'd be gone 2 or 3 times, or 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and come back home. If it rained, that Bermuda grass in the front, it would get on up there. And my dad had the junkiest old lawnmower you could ever imagine. And he'd get me, and as soon as my brother and I got big enough, we'd get out there. And of course, being farm kids, we're taking our shirt off, and we're sweating, and we're pushing that, and that grass is blowing back up on us. And man, it starts to itch. And I'd complain to Dad, and he said, "You're just doing something that rhymes with itch." But you see how just absolutely inspiring and spectacular Bermuda grass lawn is. When you can have, now this is buffalo grass. If you don't mow it at all, it's only going to get this tall. And my friend Marilyn says every time she finds a patch of it, she just kicks off her shoes and goes walking through it. But this is blue grama over here. It'll get a little taller, but it has those really cute little seed heads that blow around. But either of these are going to withstand drought. You're not going to have to water them. If you do have to water them, it's going to be 75%, 80% less than Bermuda grass. So you're saving money, saving resources. Okay, there's another graph. 1 hour by a new gas-powered lawnmower is equal to 11 cars being driven for an hour. So you can see what, those that are environmentally conscious, you can see what's happening here, okay? That's a lot more appealing to me than a flat Bermuda grass lawn. That's I think it's called the Pie House. That's here in Norman. I don't know what it looks like now. That picture's a few years old. Okay. Aha. Back to our stormwater. See all these native forbs and grasses here? We're talking 12, 14 feet of roots. They open the soil up so that when you get those big, heavy flooding rains, the water will go actually into the soil and go down. A Bermuda grass over there on the far left is a representation of a Bermuda grass root system. It goes down about 4 to 6 inches and it stops. And over the years, it'll create a hard pan there that the water won't penetrate. So once you soak that top 5 or 6 inches, all the rest of it runs to the curb and down the street. Whereas the others, if you had these deep-rooted native plants, that water would go in carrying nutrients down, but then the roots are bringing those nutrients back up to the surface. Okay. This question doesn't quite fit this crowd, but there are advantages, economic, labor-wise, for the homeowner. Okay. 34% of folks buy plants to help wildlife. This is increasing, by the way, exponentially. I won't read all that off to you, but that's from the National Gardening Association. You can see the percentages there. We've turned a corner. We just got to, I always used an analogy that building a business was kind of like pushing a boulder uphill. You push and you push and you push and you push, and at some point, you get to the peak, and you push that boulder over the peak, and all of a sudden that boulder takes off, and you're running down trying to guide it and catch it. And that's kind of where we're at with the native plant movement right now. We're trying to catch up with resources and people that are interested, and I'm talking about the landscapers, landscape architects, and growers. Okay. There's a lot of talk about the difference between straight species and cultivars, and I don't want to get into the weeds on this really, really deep, but as far as the nativars or cultivars, whatever, versus the straight species, it definitely just depends. Some yes and some no. And I've done just anecdotal observations. You find native plants that maybe they've got a different leaf color. Well, what we've noticed in the greenhouse, if you've got a plant that normally has a green leaf and it has a chocolate brown leaf, it won't attract pollinators. And we did some research on that just, on Google, and found that the insects can't see that odd colored leaf. It doesn't register in their little brains, so they don't go to that. So that's just one example, but that's not always the case. So there we are. We go to the website. There's a database. You can find contractors, architects, growers, anything you could need for your native plant landscape. This is what started it all. Dr. Douglas Tallamy, Bringing Nature Home. He's written another book since then. It can explain all of this in great detail. It's a really interesting book to read. And here's this one is available. Connie Scothorn, Brian Patrick, they're local in Oklahoma City. This is Oklahoma Native Plants. They're in their second edition of it now. It's really helpful. Some of the others there, you can make note of those. Maybe we can leave the screen up. Okay. There's a few more. Nature's Best Hope is Tallamy's latest book. And I think that about does it. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Wow. Whoa. Maybe they could see you afterwards for questions.
Can you go back one slide just for 1 second?
Yeah, because some people want to take a.
Oh, did you want to take a picture? Can you do that, Michelle?
Oh, it'll be on the same if you get on the YouTube.
Maybe you can see Bill later. Yeah, his little cards are on the table out there, and we'll see if we can't get you the information you're looking for. All right, thank you so much, Bill. Wow, I know we all really learned a lot, and if how much of it sticks, but at least it's a seed, right? You're planting seeds. I love it. All right, we are at the point now in our service where we have an opportunity to give back. Morningstar, as always, is in need of your support and participation in any way that you feel you can give it. We're looking for more facilitators. If there are people who would be interested in doing this job, which is really, there's plenty of instruction things for you to follow if you want to do it, but we're always needing more people like that, and meditators like Mona's beautiful job today. We each bring our own style to meditation. It's all accepted, it's all good. So if you would feel led to try that. Our setup people, we're always looking for more setup people. And financially. So that is why we take this point in our service to take an offering and give as you can to keep Morning Star going. And we are going to read together our offering prayer, which is on the back of your songbook. And it says, recognizing God as the source of my supply, I joyously give of God's abundance, which is blessed and multiplied through me, and so it is. And now our song is the garden song.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stone, we are made of dreams and bone. Need a spot to call my home, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, I'll find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music of this land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low till I make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down. Now plant your seeds straight and long, season them with prayer and song. Now Mother Earth will keep you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching from a tree, he's got his hungry eyes on me. And in my garden I'm as free as a feathered leaf up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Yay. Our talented band. We love them so much. And you know what? I mean, it's not just the voices, it's not just the instruments. These guys take it to the next level to find music every time that fits, that flows with whatever the theme or the. And what was the story about Jeffrey's connection to the Canadian song?
So I was just searching around for some kind of song that would fit, and I found the one we did, and I posted it out there. And Jeffrey, apparently, the guy lives in Canada. The guy who wrote it lives in Canada. And Jeffrey goes, I know him. He said, I scored a movie that he starred in. And he wrote that song, I think, in 2002. And yeah.
So all these connections. I mean, it's just so beautiful the way we are all connected in 1,000,001 different ways. So thanks to the band, thanks to our setup people, you know, and today we had, on setup, we had Mary and Sharon and Roger, who comes to do the high stuff. A lot of us are vertically challenged like me, and man, we appreciate you tall guys who can do that. We had our tech, Michelle, today. It was so good to have you back with us, Michelle. We love that these talented people who can do all this stuff that I don't know how to do, so I appreciate them. Let's see. Band, setup, tech. I'm not there yet, Helen. Just wait. You just wait. One more minute. Because we do need to make a few announcements. Nothing huge, but we have a board meeting today at 1 o'clock. I wanted to share with you kind of a sad note that our friend Janice Blakely, who a lot of you have known, she's been with Morningstar in the past a long time, and she passed away on Monday. She had been moved to a facility in Edmond, and her condition had deteriorated quite a bit, and so it was a release. It was freedom for her, and we will miss her. Those of you who did not know Janice, her great passion in life was her love of Dolly Parton. And you could not meet this woman and not have her tell you about her love for Dolly Parton. And she had a spirit, a spunk, you know, that I think will all of us who knew her will miss her and cherish that. And yes, Helen, we are going to ask people if they need a name tag to be sure, and contact Helen or put your information out there and she'll make sure you get one. And if it gets lost, our wonderful setup people find them in the box and dig them back out like mine. So thanks to that. And Celia's son, she brought her son's books. He was our speaker not very long ago, and some of you may have wanted to get one of his poetry books, right?
Yeah, and I want to say something else.
Sure, come on up real quick.
That may match our day today, which is March 6th. I have a gathering at my home for those who want to pickle Jerusalem artichokes. So you bring your bottle, you dug up your own, because I have plenty, and clean them, cut them, and make your own, and take it home.
Interesting. I mean, we have such talented people in this group. Let's see if I've forgotten anything. I just have to say one last thank you to any of you who happened to show up at the Mardi Gras parade last night. We had so much fun, and my talented line dance sisters and I got first place in the dance competition. Thank you. And next week, we have another wonderful speaker. Sammy Husbands is going to be talking. And some of you know Sammy. All right. Well, let me see if I can get back to that. I had it right there in this technology sometimes. All right, Sammy, where are you? Okay. Mystery of Consequences, a journey from strangers to brothers. Hailing from the island of sun, sand, sea, and liquid snow, Sammy Husbands, a master workman, author, and martial arts artist. Originally from Barbados, highly proficient in wushu, tai chi, and Barbados stick science, life took a big turn after a 2-story fall in 2009. Picking up a guitar, he found a new route, and within 8 months, he'd entered the Barbados Community College to obtain a degree in music. Later, guided by his internal philosophy, find your balance, work in harmony, Sammy taught others the science of movement through Tai Chi and physical education. Today, Sammy is an instructor in Norman, dedicated to teaching mastery of consequences and using martial arts holistically for health and well-being. He and his mentor friend Elvis Gill co-authored the first ever stick-licking manual. Their amazing gifts continue to impact many in the Norman community as individuals have received certifications, medals, honors under their tutelage. Sammy continues to prove that when the right nourishment is provided, the tree will always grow strong. In Sammy's talk at Morningstar, he will explore the historic journey of the first Americans to be certified in Barbados stick science and how a shared route inspired a spiritual brotherhood that spans from Oklahoma to Florida. It's a story of how two strangers found the balance to work in harmony, proving that when brothers stand together, they can move mountains. So that will be another beautiful time. All right, if you would please, we say with me our prayer of protection, which is on the back of your hymn songbook, and then we will circle up for the peace song. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is.